Here's part 2 of my video, showing you the underneath, leaky old cap. Well, it's nothing surprising. Got the exhaust brake right there. 3rd gen manifold, still with the heat shield, still stock airbox. All that. Took the turbo silencer out. This thing is funny. I gutted it. There's nothing in there, it's just a big cylinder. Then I went to go do my valves one day and took these hoses off. Then they started blowing oil out, and I found it kind of weird. So I zip tied them. Now they're perfectly fine. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys the engine and stuff I did to it. I don't know what is in it, especially when I bought the truck. I don't know if there's what size injectors. I don't know, anything. I took the liner out right here because that was sagging really bad. I didn't want, didn't want it to fall down, catch fire. My firewall started to do it. I still have to finish the job. Pull that out, cut it out. Did most of this side, but in between here and there, it's all cut out, so it's not laying on the motor no more because it was laying right on the back of the valve cover, and it would get pretty warm. But running the interstate batteries, 2 of them, a little corroded and crusty, but yeah, it's something. AC, it's hooked up with AC, but I was gonna take that thing out. I was gonna take the compressor off, and I was going to take the air conditioning condenser off. Because to me, yeah, I live in a state where there's tons, it's hot. But to me, it's a work truck, and that's one less thing for it to go wrong, because I did have the pump freeze up on me, and it was it burnt the belt in half, broke the belt. This is a stock intercooler. Really cold on this side. And this side, even for stock, pretty cool. And I just got done driving. Like, I probably drove maybe, I don't know how many miles. But previous owner must have had wires all everywhere. So I have random wires. I think he had gauges hooked up, and, could have left them in there, but tear it all apart, and then people wonder, what the hell is this random wire, But I love this motor. I love older 12 valves. That would be a motor for me that I would swap in this truck after after this motor goes or whatever happens to it. And I'm gonna 12 valve swap it. And if I need to, then I'll custom dash for the gauges to work. But overall, this is a very good motor. It's the first time I ever had one of these newer ones, so I didn't know what to expect with it. I've had a old 2002 24 valve with a VP pump in it, and that truck still runs great. But 2 different sounding trucks, especially when you get a first gen too. I like it. There's some people out there that don't like the noise of them and rather prefer like a Power Stroke or a Duramax where the motor's not as quiet. Sounds like you're throwing a rod through the block, But I do. Pretty soon, if I get a fast, I'm going to delete my fuel filter right there. Get that out of there so there's a little bit more room. And I'll just hook that straight up to my injection pump. All the way back there. I will do it like normal people do it and post it on the frame rail maybe. Or something like that. And then maybe, I think it's a sub pump or whatever that hooks on the bottom of the fuel tank. And all that. But I'll keep it to where it will still read the... how much fuel I have in it. Because I don't want to put an extra gauge or have to do anything like that. But this is a 5.9. Love it. I was looking at some trucks that were newer with the EGR valves and EGR coolers, and got to use DEF and diesel exhaust fluid and stuff like that. And it just wasn't me, and I'm not going to buy even a brand new truck. I'm not going to go out and spend the money it costs for that to, dump maybe $3 to $4 grand just in deleting it, and then pay another couple grand for a tuner. Because the tuner I would want to get maybe is a HP tuner, because there's Optimal Welding. If you watch him, he's starting to come out with switchable tunes, and that'd be the way I would go. I don't want to run a tuner on here, but if I did run a tuner or any kind of tuner, I would get one from him. He does really good work. I've been following him for a while. But yeah, 6.7. What's the difference? It's pretty much a 95% 5.9 with bigger pistons. So, your pistons are heavier with the 5.9 push rods. And it's all how much work you want to put into it. If you want to dump thousands of dollars into a new truck to, work, then that's fine. Go and do it by all means. But me, last year, the 5.9, and what I really wanted about this truck was the 4 doors. I had to have 4 doors, just like in my previous video, I introduced my dog onto the channel. It was hard in a second gen to just let her out real quick, because my door had to be open, or if someone wanted to just jump in real quick, I had to open my door, and that got old fast. So decided to go a different route, get a 4-door. I was looking at a 2006, but when you look at used trucks and they have programmers on them already, you don't know how someone beat it up. Someone could have just toasted the truck, and then what? You're left with nothing. You're left with a shell of a truck. And truthfully, out of all this, the only thing I wanted was the manual transmission and the body of the truck. Like I said previous, I would do a 12 valve swap in it. I would. I just like the 12 valves, simple, mechanical, nothing with electronic computers, nothing, going on. But like I said in previous video, if you like the content and you subscribe, give me a thumbs up, share the video. That'd be really much appreciated. I want to grow this channel. I want to do actual stuff with this truck and show people, what I do. Air cleaner, I think it's a EN or something. It's just a drop-in replacement, kind of like K&N, but I'm going to build my own K&N setup to where I don't have to have any of this. I'm probably going to put this on its own filter, because all it does is regulate and tell the truck what air temperature is outside. So if I could put a filter on this, and K&N sells one, I would take this and then just, leave it over here. But this truck, I don't know. I got it, and it was a winter truck. It has a block heater in it, and it must have to be plugged in when it was really cold, so I disconnected because it was really weird. Let me tell you a good story about this grid heater. Okay, grid heater's all fine and dandy, but when it starts taking power away from the truck and it sounds like it's gonna die, like literally it knocked so hard one day when it was cold, and I think it was maybe 27 degrees morning, and it clunked real loud, and then it smoothed out, and I just told myself, I was like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna have that happen. So I just disconnected it from the battery, so it's just there. So one thing I would really like to do first is get a delete for that, and I don't know who I'd go with. I would just want a standard one, especially with a couple of I found them with pre-tapped, so then I could run my boost, because I ain't running no gauges right now. But if I did get some gauges, I know what people will say, Glow Shift sucks, or this kind of brand sucks. It doesn't really matter, as long as it monitors, and it monitors good. And everything I've heard about Glow Shift and seen, people have them everywhere. So, what's the point in, spending, thousands of dollars on something that's, gonna read? Well, then you could just spend, a couple $100 and get a digital one that hooks into your OBD2 sensor, or not your sensor, but that port under the thing, under the dash, and then monitor it from the computer. That's a good way. But I like the traditional gauge look, especially I already have a navigation. You guys seen it, the Garmin. And I would do maybe on top of that, I would get like one of those mounts that are built into the pillar to where I could put it in. But other than that, it's just all, to me, it's stock. I don't know what's inside the motor. Like I said, there's already almost 180,000 on it. So previous owner had to do something to it. They just can't, do whatever. But it's yeah. And it shows, it's like, there's stickers, you can see, like, All the stickers are still on it. The truck was really good taken care of just from the dings and stuff. But a work truck is a work truck, and if he had it for work, then, you know, and I have it for work, what's the big problem? You know, there is no problem. You know, it's going to get beat up. People, you know, take the street queens and they want to, you know, oh, the cool thing nowadays is putting stance on your truck, making the wheels stick out wide. Well, that's just hard on components. You know, if you're going to go wider than the actual stock, I just don't understand that. You know, I'm a very, you know, practical person when it comes to just vehicles in general with modding them. I don't see the point in, you know, modding something that just isn't. Performance mods, yes. But any other kind of mods that, you know, that are appearance-wise to me is a no-go. That's no. You could have, you know, $120,000 Cummins with all this big old shiny lift kit and 20 feet off the ground and big old rims that are, you know, bigger than some dining tables and, you know, 5 feet wide. And it's just, what's the point? You know, people then complain, well, I can't go through there. I can't go, you know, through drive-throughs, and I can't do all this fancy stuff. And, you know, that's like me. That's why I want steel rims. You know, I went through drive-throughs and stuff with this, and, you know, I wouldn't consider myself a professional driver, but I have grown up with someone that's drove millions. I'm talking millions of miles in his life, and he taught me how to drive. And I take everything he takes serious because, you know, he started driving trucks when, you know, before he even had a driver's license. You know, that's what kind of county we live in is, you know, everybody knew each other, but, you know, no one ever hassled him when he would drive his trucks for his dad and stuff. So when he tells me, you know, drive this way and drive that way, and he's very particular, you know, I want to go get a cold start when it gets wintertime again, of the truck starting up, but they got rid of it. It was a big orange truck. It was a big old 76 gas station. When they were, you know, doing their business, they had a show truck, and my dad's company, they bought it, and, you know, that was a great truck. But now they have a white Peterbilt, and so I'm going to see if I get some shots of that and stuff. I'll have to cover up, you know, the signs and stuff, because I don't want anybody, you know, whatever internet trolls like to do, and that's fine. You know, if you want to troll people, do what you want to do, but I'm not going to put information out there to where you could troll people. And, you know, my license plates will never be shown. I'll never show anybody's license plates, and I'm never going to disclose, you know, where I live, you know, who I am, because I'm trying to pursue a career in a profession of fugitive recoveries and stuff. So I'm not going to put myself out there. If, you know, you guys know my name and everything that's on my YouTube, but I'm not going to, you know, and you might see the shadow of me, but you're not going to get a real clear picture of me, you know. And I'm not going to put, you know, any companies. If I go for a drive and you guys happen to be on and I'm talking, I'm not going to show, you know, other people's license plates. I'm not going to show, you know, I'm not really going to tell you what state I live in. You know, if I get a lot of subscribers and, you know, it's persistent of where do I live, I will tell you the general area of where I live, but I'm not going to straight away just tell you what state and what city and town and, you know, county I live in. That's ridiculous. You know, there has to be some privacy to this thing. But, you know, if I reach, If I could reach, I want to say maybe 5,000 subscribers, I'll do a face review. I'll reveal my face. How about that? How about if I get 5,000 subscribers, I will reveal my face, and then people will see. You know, it ain't nothing special. I'm just a guy, so you know what I mean. But yeah, I want to do a lot like this. Like, it just catches bugs. Big old mark that was there when I got it. All these marks have been there when I got it. What I do is I'll just sit here and I'll just, you know, flick off the bugs. And as you can see, it comes off without me actually damaging anything. You got to hit these things pretty freaking hard to damage them. But other than that, this truck's been an awesome truck. You know, I said in the previous video, there's nothing I would change, but then I said there's stuff I would change. But performance mods, maybe looking at possibly bigger or stock. A little bit bigger than stock injectors. Not 30 over, maybe 15% over if they make them, you know. But for the price of them, I can't do that right now. And the truck's running great, you know. Yeah, it has a little rough idle, but with a little bit of tune-up, like I need to do a valve adjustment. You know, and there's already videos on oil changes and valve adjustments on these things. I'm not going to, you know, put you guys through the torture of watching a video. Especially, I don't know really how to edit. So I'm confused with the editing stuff, especially using the cell phone editing. And I'll probably get comments of, oh yeah, you should use, you know, use a laptop and an editing software. And who has the time for that? Not me, you know. People ask, well, why is this turn like that? Well, even when I had my 24 VP, and I understand, like, people could be like, oh, well, you know, you probably just got that from somebody. Well, even reading on, you know, most of the stuff, and I was having problems with my 24 VP, it was not really reading. So I did what everybody else said to do, is take and turn the engine oil dipstick letters upside down, and that will read better. And I have never had a problem. But one thing with this truck, I've never checked the oil since I've got it and changed it. It's coming up for an oil change. I need to do one. But I don't really, you know, put a lot of miles on, like, hard. It's just mainly, you know, driving to work, coming back, going to town, getting groceries, you know, doing stuff like that. But I turn this upside down and, you know, it just reads a whole lot better to me. You know, you could say that, you know, well, that's not working. But I also wanted to get another factory, I mean, not a factory, but take this factory intake horn off and maybe get a pusher system. And with a pusher system, I'd probably just go black. I'm probably going to stay with the theme of everything black. Besides in the cab with lights, I'll turn green. Just because I like that color, green. It stands out. The green that they have for this, it's just too lime green for me. I'm not going to go with, you know, flamboyant colors like that of, you know, to me it just looks cheesy. You know, there's other people like Everything Diesel, if you want to go follow him. He's starting his build with his white Cummins, and he has gold. Now, see, white and gold, that looks good, but black with lime green, you know, that's a city thing. You know, I'm not in the city, and but, you know, it's just one of those things where I want it a certain way, and if it's not a certain way, then why waste the money and put something on your truck you don't want? You know, my favorite color would probably be OD green, because I was originally going to paint the truck OD green, but that's going to stick out too much. I don't want to stick out too much to, you know, where a lot of people know my truck, or, you know, just stuff like that, or people saying, you know, oh, you're trying to copy this or copy that, and by no means am I trying to copy anybody on YouTube, and I'm sorry to, you know, the two people I dropped their names that have YouTube channels. I hope you'd go over to them and subscribe and give them a thumbs up on their videos, because that's excellent content. And, but I don't copy nobody on YouTube. I don't want to copy anybody on here. I want to be able to do my own thing. I could take criticism. Trust me. I like I said, I was a wildland firefighter for 8 years, and criticism with that job, you know, you got people's lives in your hands, you know. I made it to crew boss. Never wanted to be squad boss. I don't want to deal with those people. You know, I don't want to deal with the overhead. So I just mainly stuck squad boss, ran my squads, did what I needed to do. Spent 8 years, did good work. But on another hand, when I was talking about the tuners, this Velcro, I don't know if this truck had a tuner on there. And if it did, okay, but it's running perfectly fine. You know, besides the valves that are a little bit louder and stuff and everything, but I will give it a start up here in a second, and let me put my phone down, and then I'll let you guys hear it start. Sorry I don't have no camera person to help me, but let me go grab my keys real quick. See, it purrs perfect. I like it. You know, I love it. That right there is my, I don't know if you can hear me, but that is, oh man. I can't think of the name right now, but that helps my exhaust brake. That's what sends the air to it. Yeah, hold on, let me, I'll walk around on the other truck and I'll show you the underside of what the exhaust and everything is. Hold on, let me get this turned off. I got a whining from my clutch, but it's did that ever since I got it, and I think it's a South Bend or whatever the guy I think said was in it. He said a lot of stuff was in this truck, and you know, it's not. As you can see, dirt everywhere. I have freaking dirt everywhere. This whole county is dirt. This whole place is dirt. I hate it. Grass was green, now it's going crappy. So that's the exhaust. Just a 4-inch cut diagonal like that. I'm thinking about getting a tip and maybe possibly axle dumping it. But that's on, you know, that'll probably be maybe the first thing I do is get a tip. And I'll do a review of the tip. Don't mind that pile of crap. It's cardboard and stuff that needed to be burnt this winter but never got around to it. That's the travel trailer on the other side. Yeah, it comes back into that, you know. And what I've seen and what I've heard people do, I think I'm going to do it with it. But I'm not going to disclose that because I don't, you know, nothing illegal. But there's stuff I want to do where people would say whatever. But then my transmission, as you can see, it's filthy. And I have a cat on there. So once I get rid of my cat, I'm going to see how the muffler does. And then after that, then I'm going to see, well, first it's going to be the tip. And then if I still don't like the sound, because there's nothing wrong with the sound. There's nothing wrong with the sound of this motor. It sounds great on the highway, you know. I've had people say, man, that truck sounds mean. And it does sound mean, you know, but take off the factory cat and then you take and do what I want to do with the muffler. I don't want to do right away a 4-inch turbo back exhaust. I kind of want to wait to see what kind of sound I could get out of this truck with a cat removal and a nice tip. And if that adds the sound I'm looking for, that's great. Because I don't want it too loud of a truck. Because I heard one that he just got his, I think it was like 4-inch, maybe a 5-inch. I didn't really talk to him about it, but I seen it in the shop and then drove by. And I seen all this, you know, he still had the stickers on the pipes, you know, of, you know, the barcodes. And I thought that was kind of cheesy, you know. And his truck was really loud. I mean, it was obnoxiously loud. I was still in one part of town, and I would just hear him driving off, hitting the stop signs, driving off, hitting the stop signs, driving off. And that was just too loud for me. I don't want something obnoxious. You know, if I want something obnoxious, you know, I'll go get a gasser, you know. Even though people say, oh, well, you know, it's two different sounds, and I totally agree. Two different sounds, gas and, you know, this, you know. But once you start getting into, you know, hearing people's trucks have these big old exhaust and, you know, you're sitting inside the cab and driving down the highway at 65, you know. Because my truck, when I drive, you know, 65, you know, especially when I go down to the bigger cities on the freeway, because most of our highways around here are 55. So when I get 65, I probably couldn't stand, you know, something just real loud, obnoxious in your ear. You know, you just get over it. You know, you want a loud truck, you want a loud truck. You know, me, I don't want nothing really loud, but I want something with a nice tone. You know, that's, you know, people here like, oh yeah. But there's more stuff I want to talk about and do to the truck. But today the video is getting a little long. It's already at 23 minutes. And like I said, I don't edit. I don't, you know, try and cut things together. I'm new to this, so everything's going to be different to where it's all going to be one take. If I mess up on saying something or I stumble over my words or, you know, something else happens, you know, to where I, you know, am stumbling and people, oh, look at this guy, you can't even speak. That's fine. You know, if your criticisms want to be about speech, then I would hate to see what you do in the rest of your life. But all jokes aside, and that's what I know what makes me think he had gauges, because it's tapped there, and then it's plugged. So I could just run my exhaust temperature probe right down in there, and that'll be fine. I do want to second gen manifold this, though. I would love to swap it to a second gen. I don't know what it is, but to me a second gen pulls evenly from each side and then drops down in the middle. To me, this one, it's all banking off of, to me, that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. It seems like it's all banking off 5 and 6. And how can that be good for it? I understand banking off half of it, but you're getting more airflow. I don't understand. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just trying to, I'm just talking. But yeah, that's the motor to the girl. Yeah. Sorry I didn't include that in the thing. It was just people are taking their breaks outside, and nobody really wants to be on video, especially where I work. I can't videotape where I work. I can't tell you where I work. It's kind of confidential in a way of I work for the government, so I can't tell you exactly what I do, but it involves maintenance and all that for this company I work for now. So, but yeah, I just wanted to show you guys the motor and everything that is going to be planned for it. Right now, times are tough, and I understand that for everybody. I just don't have $250 to go replace the horn for you guys. If I did, I would. If I had the money, I would be making content every day of me, working on this thing of switching parts out here and there and doing all this. But definitely when I get, when I really do it, because I want to take my valve cover off and I want to repaint it all. I want to get this all black, and then maybe with a OD green, do my letters and even the C, But thank you for watching. This is probably going to end this video because it's getting really long. It's already at 26 minutes. And flip through it. Feel dandy if you don't care for the content. Please, like, subscribe. If you don't, leave a thumbs down and a comment why. And take it easy.